Okay.
So that cannot be a lit sign?
Yeah, it can be as long as it's downlight. You can't have upward light.
Okay,
Some
I got
people have lights down on the ground.
Oh, I got it,
And those we don't allow anymore.
Yeah, I get it.
It's got to be dark sky compliant. So usually any kind of a downlight, like the barn lights.
Yep.
That type of thing is fine because it's a lighted light, so that's fine. Anything else, Ed?
I think it's great.
Okay, Mike, any other
No,
comments?
that's good.
Okay, I'll make a motion then, that we, with the consideration of the adjustment of sizes of the signs, noted by Mr. Fenwick, that we accept the application as presented.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Yes, okay. Okay.
Well, thank you,
That's great.
everybody.
Thank
Good
you.
luck with that.
Yep.
When you help, the hotel work.
Make sure you have maple walnut.
I have maple walnut, and in fact, that's one of the older flavors that were noted for it. I can't tell you how many people have said,
And rum raisin's the other one too.
yeah, that one is a tough one.
Yeah.
Yeah, but now I have room, I could have 30, I could have 16 more flavors where.
It all comes from Prospect, right?
Yes,
Okay.
okay, well, thank you, everybody.
You let good luck.
Yeah, good to see you. Thank you, Richard. Good luck.
You're open for the golf season?
Well, I'll have the store finish the construction part done by the end of the month, and then I'm gonna spend the next month or two. I know, depending on the weather, we'll see April or beginning of May. Because Mother's Day is always our goal.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, thanks, everybody, have a great night, and I'm glad you got your homework.
Yeah, me too.
Night now, thank you.
Rich, you were the problem.
Okay. Item number 3, the referral. Kia application for special exception use to construct a 1,375 square foot addition, facade renovation, new sign and site improvements at 275 Middlesex Turnpike, Assessors map 52, lot 63-2 in the business B4 district. Who wants to
I'll
start?
start out one day. For the record, Joe Wren, professional engineer, with me is Tom Griven, I'm Noise Boy Architects in Chester. Working on the Kia building over in the Auto Mall. And the yellow outline is the existing building as we all know it. And the green outline is the addition that we'll be talking about. It's really just a service reception bay that you see at all the newer dealerships now, where you can drive in out of the weather, leave your car inside, wait for your car, they take it through the facility. So it's that type, not a major expansion of the building. And then Tom will also discuss the facade renovation going on in the front too, with some new signage, updated, more modern signage. So with that in a nutshell, we went through wetlands. We have our approval through inland wetlands, but we come before you, and then obviously a special exception through zoning. So with all that, we think we have the signs correct and the lighting correct around the building. We provided all the specs and everything. Tom brought some materials and some colors to show you. And with that, I'll just turn it over to Tom, talk about the building.
Yeah, I guess my only other question is about the site. I seem to recall this was in, was it about 2 or 3 years ago when the auto mall came in. I remember we talked about Jeep and they had that rock and wanted to put the Jeeps on, and then Kia talked as well. I remember something going back then. And I think on the site plan itself, all the plantings, everything, you didn't have much in the property line because you were hard against the next
Yeah, it's
property.
an interesting site because there's common ownership there, and then they have a leasehold on a certain part of that.
Yeah, I remember it got complicated. So,
Landon Stock from Kia, he's one of the attendees there, and then Stephanie Pattison is also on. She is the sign designer.
okay,
So if we could allow them to speak, if possible, that would be great.
yeah, okay.
So Tom Griffin, text. And as Joe was saying, this is the existing building, and this is the 1,337 or whatever square feet of addition. And part of the project, besides the addition, is to redo the facade. Right now, it's a mansard roof, which we're going to take off. And so it's actually the footprint of the building is a little smaller. And we're going to, there's going to be a lot of curtain wall, a lot of glass in between the existing column bays. And then what is now the mansard roof will become an aluminum composite panel. And so we have some new building lighting as well. Front entry, open service, reception bay doors. And then we're going to also install new emergency lighting at the exit doors, which don't exist today. So these are this is the samples. This is the ACN panel, and these are all Kia brand colors. This is the EFIS or exterior insulation finish system, which will cover the existing split face CMU that's there now. So they're going to cover over that. And then they're going to paint the existing CMU on the back and two sides of the metal that's there. So we're going to address that.
So you're gonna do the whole,
Yes.
Yeah.
We're not going to be painting the metal siding, but everything else is going to be refreshed. And then this is the anodized aluminum curtain wall. But these are your typical exterior materials. There's very little, minimal lighting on the building. But we do want to illuminate the entry here. And so this is just what we call a wedge light. So the phone wedge light, very small. It's only 7 inches and 9 inches in height and 7 inches or 11 inches. Yeah. So it's not a large. Everything is down light. And it's just to provide an emergency illumination of the exits in this case. And a nicer light than these are just your basic emergency lights. And these don't come on, these only come on when there's a loss of power and then there's an emergency. These lights would be on a timer.
Yeah.
So, the other aspect of the project is the Kia sign, which is new, and the service sign. So this is the Kia sign. It is a total of 38.28 square feet. I think our elevation has 703 square feet. 20% would be 140 or lesser.
yeah, you're less than that.
Lesser is the 65 square feet. So we're under that square footage for the first sign. And then the second sign is the service sign. And I think we had 206 square feet or
Yeah, so it could be
5%.
7 square feet, I
And
think,
the lesser of that is, 7, so we have 5.47.
Yeah.
Those are the rectangular dimensions too, not just the area,
Yeah.
the letters, those are the rectangular.
And then, so this is the sign, the signs in the daytime and nighttime. So this is the Kia sign's a backlit sign, just the perimeter gets lit, where the service sign is the letters are lit.
Yeah.
So
Now, the glass isn't reflected in any way, is it?
this, the main curtain wall glass?
Yeah.
No,
No,
just clear glass.
yeah, because we don't, yeah.
It's got no coating other than a low E coating, but no reflective.
Yeah,
glass.
okay, yeah.
I think that's,
So it's pretty straightforward.
yeah,
Yeah.
Good. Is
Yeah.
this taking place because there's a new owner of the dealership or?
no, it's just, Kia's requirements to
Okay.
update and refresh to the new look,
Pretty straightforward.
You can see the
Nationwide.
differences though, there
Yeah.
on the left, with
Yeah.
the oval red
Yeah.
sign,
Yes.
that was proposed.
Yeah,
So that's why it came out with a
answers.
new branding,
Yeah.
new branding.
Exactly.
Yeah, I go by there today, you have basically the same size signs. You have a service sign now, but it faces north. Small
Yes.
sign, but yeah, I think it's great.
Yeah, I guess, you had 7100K, that's pretty bright for the, lighting. Yeah, because we,
Yeah.
the normal incandescent stuff, we look for 3,000 to 4,000 and, 5 to 6 maybe on.
Which one's 7,100?
Well, they're both 7100.
Also.
This sign is, it's this perimeter that's illuminated and that.
Yeah, because we pretty much, again, because of dark sky compliancy, I know in the last year or so, we've been frowning on backlit signs, and we've gone for internally illuminated signs. Do they have an alternate sign they can use that's internally illuminated?
I'd have to defer to Stephanie from Patterson.
Yeah.
Could they drop down the temperature to,
That could work, just to cut down on the.
Well, it's my understand, and I'll let Stephanie speak to that, but it's my understanding this is their Kia corporate standards.
Yeah.
So there's, for them, I think, it's either
I mean, you're set
illuminated
back.
or not.
You're set back quite a bit from the road.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is like that.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, but we've kind of dialed everything down in there,
yeah, that's,
Is this something, because I didn't see that in the zoning regs,
Yeah, well, it's just a recommendation we're gonna make back. This is a referral, so we're gonna make recommendations.
yeah,
Because you have to go back to zoning, because that's 7,100, so a little break. There was another issue that came up, and Chris and I discussed it and dialed back.
Janice, could Stephanie?
I don't, can you hear me, Joe?
We could hear you, Landon. We just have to turn off the volume.
So I did hear, I'm having a little bit of trouble hearing, but I did talk to Stephanie about the sign, and it is the only sign. There is no difference in lumens. It's the only way the sign is offered from Kia.
Okay.
That is correct.
Oh, I hear.
Hi. Hi. Yeah, this
Hi.
is Stephanie. I'm the project manager for the signage. Yeah, the signs are built this way as per Pattison ID's contract through Kia Corporate, as far as being in line with what their corporate brand standards are. Any changes to anything about the signage, first of all, would have to be approved with Kia Corporate. And then also, as far as the illumination goes, it is my understanding that nothing about the LEDs can be changed as far as the level of lumens that are there, aside from, you just limiting the amount of time that, you would be able to have those lit, which the dealership can most definitely do by having a timer on those signs for when they come on, and of course when they would then turn off.
yeah, it's the Kelvin. The Kelvin is, we've never recommended this high of a Kelvin to be approved. This is the highest that we've ever had to discuss. So this is a tough one.
What is the main issue or main concern with it? Is the light
It's the light
scatter
spread.
upward?
Yeah, well, it's a light spread, yeah, if there was some kind of an overhang or something, then that would allow a cutoff and we could, be a little more
That's what I was
flexible.
going to suggest. So is there some way to get some type of hood over that, that would blend in with the facade?
Yeah, because sighting down is not a problem because we have internally illuminated signs, obviously, that's, but that doesn't, shine upward.
So Stephanie, have you come across this before where, most communities now want to go dark sky compliant, so they don't want light spread upward. So have you come across this before and provided some sort of a light shield over the sign that blends in with the facade so it doesn't take away from the aesthetic of it?
No, it's not something that we've done before. This is a national rebranding across the United States that we've been redoing, either retrofitting existing buildings or ground up facilities. And this is the standard across the US for Kia Corporate. So Again, any changes to the building or this, you know, anything to custom be made outside of what you see here is not something that I have seen done, nor have I experienced in any of the Eastern region in all of my 300 plus projects that I have ongoing, in order to change the way that the light, you know, illuminates. It doesn't really, do you have I'm sorry, and I wish I was able to join via the Zoom link, but unfortunately I'm not able to. Are you able to show them the photos that I sent to see what it looks like at night? I may have missed that.
We do, Tom presented.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, it's not you know, nothing's going, you know, any further than I would say maybe than a quarter of an inch or so around the actual Kia emblem itself. Is that the sign that we have concern on?
Yeah, the service sign isn't a problem. It's, you know, I think you already have an illuminated sign.
The main issue is with the backlit sign, Stephanie, the Kia branded
Yeah.
backlit sign. The service sign, since it's internally illuminated, is fine the way it is.
Understood. Yeah, unfortunately, there is not another sign that we offer. This is the Kia logo, and that's the design that Kia has approved with us for us to make.
They did with that, but I know they dialed it back. They wanted like 8,000 or 9,000, and they came down to about 5 or 6. Yeah, just so they could get through the material, and that's fine, you know. So if they, you know, can dial back the, you know, the brightness of it, you know,
Landon, what would it take
that'd be
to,
a compromise? You
what
know?
would it take to check to see if they can lower that color temperature down to 6,000?
That would be
I've
me
asked.
reaching out to my manufacturing plant to see if it's allowed, and then I would have to check with Kia Corporate to see if they would even approve it, as this would be something completely different than what's going on nationally with the rebrand.
Okay. So can you do that for us?
Absolutely, yes, that's not a problem. I'm actually looking at the old design package now for what is existing there for the Kia Oval to see if I can read and show anything on. I think our old brand books did not have the exact levels on them, and that's correct. I'm unsure if the LED was the same in the existing, and I can also find that out for you to let you know that it would be replacing like for like as far as the LED goes. So I will look into both of those for you.
So Joe, or one question I have, because, you know, this will be a conversation with Peter Shin, the Senior Dealer Development Manager. So I understand it. There is no statute in any language about lumens in the current code, but if we can't reduce it, then it would not, the Architectural Review Board would recommend it not be approved.
Well, this is a referral. It's going back to zoning. I think they're going to make the final decision.
We would recommend that they lower the Kelvin temperature.
Yeah.
So we would
So
advise
the-
going.
They are saying that they can't. So just so I know when I go back, is the board saying that it can't be approved? The
Well,
way
right now, it's just a referral meeting, so we're not approving or denying. We're simply making a recommendation to the zoning board, the zoning commission.
So if we kept the light the same, what would your recommendation be?
Well, we're gonna recommend that it be reduced. They're gonna make the decision on whether they want it or they're going to accept that 7,100.
Okay, and if you wanted it
Now they're
reduced,
striving for dark sky compliance on all their lighting, and we've stopped approving most backlit signs because there's too much light spread, particularly with a pure white light like that. That's very pure. You know, there's no warmth to it, and you know, it's enough, of course, that the auto mall is as bright as it is, but the main auto mall sign too, they dial back their color temperature too, and it looks fine at night, but that's farther out near the road.
What if they recess that sign into the facade? The sign's only what, 6 inches thick, 4 inches thick,
2, 3.
2 or 3 inches, so
Yeah, if you could recess it a little bit, that's, you know, if it comes back to us for a final approval, I'd approve that.
you hear that, Landon?
I did, but I'm not, I mean, I'm not sure what that means as far as changing the design of the sign.
The design of the sign stays exactly the way it is, even with the 7100. Their concern is the light spreading upward vertically. So I just asked the question, since the sign is only 2 or 3 inches thick, if you recess it 1 inch or 2 into the vertical facade, and it blocks the light from going upward, but the sign will still look the same from the street. You still get that like halo around it.
Yeah.
That's-
Stephanie, do you think that's something that,
I actually, in just listening to that seems to be a lot of structural changes to not only the facade itself, which would mean, you know, more cost to the dealership, which would, in my eyes, be, you know,
Okay.
not very, I guess I don't want to speak to fairness at this point, but, you know, there would be a lot of structural changes and incur some costs to the dealers in order to do that.
And that might be enough.
Hold on 1 second, Stephanie, we just have a couple of conversations here.
Recess.
Yeah.
So Stephanie was just saying that she would be worried about the structural changes to the facade with that, but just in the cost, but thinking outside the box too, even if you just put a frame around it that blended with the facade. So that.
And again, that's Kia corporate making that call as to whether or not they would allow that. The only other option, which I would, you know, hate to see the dealership has to get, would be a non-illuminated sign, because then their, you know, visibility at night, you know, would not be as prominent as other dealerships in the area. But I can ask about possibly adding a dimmer. While we're on this call, I've reached out to a senior member of my management team, and he said nobody's ever asked us to do it, but we could possibly put a dimmer on it to be able to adjust. But again, that's a possibility still at this point. I still would need to speak with my manufacturing plant.
Yeah,
I mean, is
it's
it worth
something
it
that they
to-
consider, you know, whether there's a little shield over the top or it's recessed somehow, or you get it down to 6,000 Kelvin from the 7,100, those are the options that they would approve. So from what I'm hearing, their probability is that they would approve it with a condition of one of those items.
Yeah, I like the idea of the dimmer, and it doesn't
dimmer.
affect your design,
Right.
you know. And that stays the same. It's just, you know, other national franchises come in and they've all worked with us on making adjustments, you know, Dunkin' Donuts, Agway over here and all of that. They've made appropriate adjustments and they're fine, you know.
Yeah, LEDs certainly can be on dimmers. I'm not, I don't know about signs, but I know that regular LED outlets, fixtures can be.
I've had some experience with new LEDs, and like a bank of them, about 30 LEDs. You can set them with a simple dimmer to either 3,000, 4,000, or 5,000 Kelvin.
Yeah.
Which is it's three possible selections. It's kind of common these days, so I'm sure there's something you could do about it. You know,
And
an option.
Yeah, for the sake of the business, I mean, I wouldn't want to see the change, you know, the design, because that's your marketing.
Mhm.
You know, we get that, but, you know, the electronic method seems to be the most appealing.
It's a
Seems to be
great
most practical,
design.
too.
I love the idea of a service entry area. I mean, I think it's a very, very nice design. It's
Yeah.
just, you know, one of our primary things here at the ARB is signage, and it's been focused on dark sky compliant lately and keeping the Kelvin temperature down. So it's been a common theme among a lot of our consideration.
Right, so if we can do that with condition that it either be put on a dimmer to lower it to 6,000 or less, or otherwise shielded, just to provide that option. Because if they tell us they can't go below 7,100.
Motion. Right. Because that's really.
And again, even,
from what
I
I've
apologize, I don't want to interrupt, but again, even if we can do it, it's something that Kia Corporate would have to approve for us to allow the dealership to do under your all's recommendation. So what I do is, as the project manager, is I will take the information back to Kia and say, because of codes, restrictions, et cetera, this is what they're recommending, and then they would either approve it or not, or recommend us to just go in a different direction. Again, I would hate to have the dealership have to have a non-illuminated branded sign, you know, there, but that outside of the other options, they may not want to go dimmer just because it doesn't fit with the brand across the US. So I have to go on what Kia will approve once I find out what our plants can or cannot supply for additional options for us. Ultimately, I have to go with my customer, who is Kia Corporate.
Yeah, so just if you can look into that and just let us know what the option.
Absolutely.
The approval will be, or the favorable recommendation will be conditional upon that.
Yes, sir.
Okay, you see anything else that, that's the only thing, I'm just, well,
Great design. I like it.
yeah, no, it's,
Colors.
modern,
Yeah.
the facade, all that, everything else is fine,
Yeah.
you know. So what I would do is, for this, so I guess to do on the record, it would be a resolution, to make a recommendation, that the, principal Kia logo sign, be equipped with either, some type of a shade device or an electronic control to reduce the output color temperature to 6,000 Kelvin. Otherwise, we find no issue with the plans and the presentation, and you know, we're happy to move forward.
Sounds good to me.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, so
Great, thank you.
And the service sign is good.
Yes.
the surface sign is fine.
7,100.
Yeah. Yeah, that one's fine because you're gonna have a material over the front because it's internal. So that's gonna cut down on the light output. That's why we, you know, we understand, Big Y did that. We cut them back. But we still left it higher than we normally would have liked for a grocery store, because of the material they were going through. So we understand that that'll be like a filter. That's a filter for them.
Yeah,
So,
it's gotta come through there.
so,
The key sign, the illumination internal
yeah. But
to
it,
the sign. Just the edge that, so
Yeah.
if the light.
yeah,
is
but that's
passing
where
through-
the light is. That's where the light's emanating from.
Yeah.
Say,
Same
and
as.
a backlit sign, it's basically filtered by the material that's on the front of that sign,
But this is filtered,
on the side.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's
that's-
filtered in front, filtered on. the side.
Yeah, but it's a difference though. It's not gonna project the light up. You have a frame around that service sign.
The edges.
Yeah.
This is.
Yeah, see, it's not broadcasting light. It's not emanating light. The Kia sign is. So that's the only difference. So,
Okay, awesome. All set, guys. Thank you. Stephanie, just let us know when you find out, please.
Absolutely, no problem. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Joe.
thank you. Thanks, you. Good luck. We're going through a minute. I just want to get this stuff working. Okay, is there any other business, on the board? Okay.
No.
Here. Okay. That's perfect. Any discussion? No, all in favor? So moved.